hang on. Is this thing on right now? Oh God. Okay. Hey everybody, I'm Supervisor, the best boss here at Hasbro that's here to bring you everything you could ever want and need. Now, I know I've done a really good job at revolutionizing the industry when it comes to nerfing, and I'm here to do it one more time. Are you tired of spending money? Yeah, tell me about it. Me too. But that's why I'm here to tell you that every decision that we make here at Hasbro is meant to benefit the consumer and not us. I'm losing so much money making this commercial. This set cost me $3. You think the minimum wage is gonna pay for this?
Dude, you're getting off topic.
Right. So basically, here's my thought process, right? We have the Strife. It's a pretty mediocre blaster, but some people seem to like it for some bizarre reason that I couldn't possibly understand. But regardless, it's a mediocre, moderate blaster, but it's semi-automatic. You have to do this in order to make it work. Can you imagine a world with such an archaic technology? And then right here, we have the Rapid Strike, which is fully automatic. And the biggest problem with this one is that you kind of have to do all this finger controlling, and you have to, trigger control it. It's still not easy enough, and then people complain that it's too slow, and that it doesn't shoot fast enough. And in that case, then why don't you go and waste all your money over there at Dirt Zone, huh? They're already taking the rest of my money! Why not? Basically, that is why I have designed a new revolutionary product. Instead of having all this archaic nonsense and trying to decide which one's better or worse or whatever this what, it's all mind games. Instead, allow me to introduce the everything!
That's not what it's called.
That's not what it's called? Okay, the Regulator. This blaster does everything you could ever dream of. Do you want it to be fully automatic? It's fully automatic. You want it to be semi-automatic? It's semi-automatic. Can you not make up your mind? Why don't you just put it in the middle and find out what that does? It's got 3 darts. What does that mean? Well, come on down to Walmart and buy one for yourself. Except I want you to spend more money on stripes and rapid strikes and all the other things that we make that have no business being in the world. So I'm going to do as best as I can to keep this exclusively on Amazon. Because if this thing gets out into the wild and people realize how good it is, and it actually isn't even that good. It has, it's just quite a few. Are you sure that this is built right, Hinton? Okay, basically, regardless. Just make sure. You know what? I can't be bothered doing this. Intern, you film the commercials from now on. Surprise. You heard it from Supervisor. This right here is the everything. The Modulus Regulator was a 2017 release out of Hasbro in the Modulus series, making it a blaster that everybody wanted. Everyone and their mom and their dad and their grandma and their cat wanted this blaster because it has the magical do everything switch, which is currently being recreated. And by the time y'all are seeing this, you might have already seen the recreation appear on my channel. But with all that said, we've got quite a bit to go over, starting with the design. It looks fine. I mean, surprisingly, with how much this blaster does, the design is probably the least interesting part of it. In fact, I'd actually consider the design of this blaster kind of bad, almost, because it's this big white and blue brick. I mean, that's pretty much normal. You see any Elite XD blaster and you're used to this design. But the really weird part is how the mag is set up. The magwell is here, and the foregrip is behind it, which is weird. And they shouldn't do it that way because it makes the blaster very oddly unbalanced and requires the usage of a mag release that looks like this. This is the first one. You can blame this blaster for the abomination that we have been putting up with in blasters since Elite 2.0 and since Ultra. Thank the Regulator. And being a Modulus blaster, it comes with some incredibly weird attachments. This is the strangest thing I think I've ever seen. It is a barrel attachment that you put on, and it comes with an extra foregrip so you can heavy gunner this thing. I don't know why you'd ever want to heavy gunner a blaster like this, but you totally can, and that is just the silliest thing, and it looks so stupid. It makes the blaster look amazing, especially if you do something like this. Yeah, that looks like a regular Nerf blaster to me. I mean, I guess you could count this like a bayonet looking thing, but you can't stab anybody with that because it's just hard plastic. But like, yeah, then it comes with some barrels. So you got this barrel, which looks really, really cool. And the way you're supposed to put it on is obviously just like this. That's how it is in the product pictures. And then you have another barrel, which looks a lot more streamlined, a lot more kind of sleek and whatever else. And you could also put it on like that, or you could do this. And then it comes with a stock. And I don't have the original stock it came with, but I do have this one. And it's the same stock. It's the Regulator stock. It is known for being insanely good, one of the best stocks ever. But because of the colors, it just looks really stupid on this otherwise very normal looking blaster. I usually just set it up with a lightning storm stock and then this barrel on it because any other combination of stuff just kind of makes a giant mess, and this combination looks pretty good honestly. But regardless, it's a blaster, it's got a design, it's incredibly weird, it's incredibly dumb. Let's talk about ergonomics. Y'all have heard it by now, the stock is absolutely fantastic. It's a great length, it's got a great cheek rest, and it's got a magazine storage inside of it. It is literally one of, if not the best stock that Nerf has ever put out. Look, I'm putting my hand in the wrong spot again. You're supposed to put it like this. This is how you're supposed to hold the blaster. It's so weird. But regardless of the stock, which is a detachable attachment, I'm going to take it off the rest of this video. The main grip is really nice, except for the strange part where it kind of can't decide which direction it wants to go. The grip itself is really good, but the triggers are not fixed properly. They're fixed for a grip that's angled like this. Like the trigger is going this way, the rev trigger is going this way, and the mag release is going this way. But the blaster faces this way, and the triggers themselves pull in this way. So it just feels so weird and so wrong when you're actually pulling the triggers. Like, it looks fine, it seems like it should totally work, but it doesn't. It is really weird. These are some of the strangest and most unnatural feeling triggers I have ever seen. As for the foregrip, well, this still feels so wrong. The foregrip itself is really comfortable. It's just this big slab of plastic that you can put your hand on. But I really feel like I should do this. But you're not supposed to. You're supposed to do this. So I can either do it the normal way, which makes sense, or do it the uncomfortable way, which makes way more sense, like reasonably. Like, it's just, but why? How? And it especially gets worse when you try and take the mag out because, like, no, that doesn't work. You have to release it and then move your hand forwards and then pull it down. And because it's so far forwards, this happens. You have to really pull it to keep it there. Yeah, the magazine situation and the mag release, it's just, oh my god, it's bad. How does this blaster work? Well, this blaster is a magazine-fed selector switch-enabled flywheeler. So you put your mag in like this, and the mag insertion is pretty smooth. Then you choose between semi-auto, 3-round burst, and full auto. Say semi-auto first, you rev it normally, and then you fire once. And it's got quite a delay. It is not comparable to a Strife. Switch it to 3-round burst, and it's very inconsistent and strange, or you can switch it to full auto. Now, here's the funny bit. You probably noticed this light right here. This is a very weird addition that was just added into this blaster for no good reason, it seems like. It is a magazine counter, magazine initiator thing. I don't really know. If you put the magazine in, and you rev it, and you pull it down, it just doesn't work. And in fact, it knows that there's nothing there, so it's not advancing the pusher mech or anything. It's not a pusher, it's a conveyor belt. It's just lighting this up. I get it, yes, but that also made this blaster way more convoluted in the terms of the mechanism than it was before. It is really, really freaking convoluted. Let's talk about the triggers and the smoothness of operation. First of all, the rev trigger. Very clicky, very responsive, and very nice in general. The main trigger pulls straight in, which, as I mentioned before, I'm gonna shut that up, there you go. As I mentioned before a second ago, the main trigger just isn't really, it's just angled wrong. Like you can see, the rev trigger pulls in like this, and the main trigger pulls in like that. It just doesn't make sense. So your finger kind of smashes into the bottom of the blaster. As for the mag release, it's too far down, and it doesn't really mag drop. So you have to pull the mag out yourself, or there you go. Do that to take the mag out. And it doesn't really work with 18s, so do you really think it's gonna work with 12s? You kind of have no choice but to take the mags out like that, because if you try any other way, then it just messes up the whole thing, because the balancing is odd, because they put the mag well over here, because they felt like doing that, because they wanted to be quirky and original, because I really think that Supervisor made this blaster, because we have an idea that's really, really good, that's held up by insanely stupid problems that are really, really bad. Let's see it fire. Magazine quality does not dictate the quality of the blaster. You know, no, we're doing that take again. Extra shot! My mags suck. Mag potential is there, but you're way better off just modding a Rapid Strike. This blaster's internals are so convoluted, and the blaster shell is so strange and just not normal in any kind of reasonable way that it just makes it a handicap to actually use this thing over a Rapid Strike or a Strife. So, unfortunately, the Regulator isn't actually very good. It's very cool, especially for 2017, having a selector switch and being kind of Hasbro's big smart blaster that came out. It was like $60, so it wasn't that expensive, and it was a thing. It's very weird, it's very mysterious, it doesn't make any sense at all. I really like it, but I also kind of really don't. I think that if you like this blaster, or if you've grown up with it and you enjoyed using it before and you still enjoy using it now, hey, more power to you. As I mentioned earlier, the bog in semi-auto is insanely bad, but I do genuinely know people who have been using this as their semi-auto blaster since it came out and they got it, and have gotten so used to the bog that they can account for it and can actually nerf effectively with this blaster and the delay from pulling the trigger to the dart firing out due to the electronically controlled semi-auto, which is quite a feat to be able to get used to that and then get good at using it. So that kind of issue is clearly something that can be worked around if you give it the dedication and the time. But for most people, it's not going to be worth it. So if you are in the market for a semi-auto blaster, just go with a Strife. If you're in the market for a full auto blaster, just go with a Rapid Strike, unless you really like the rate of fire and really like the mag placement. Or if you really don't like the mag placement and you're saying, get a Hyperfire or an Infinus. I mean, the Infinus doesn't have that good rate of fire compared to this, but still, those two blasters are way more conventional, and I'm saying the Hyperfire is more conventional in this. You know exactly how conventional a Hyperfire is. It's just a strange blaster. The only case where I can say this genuinely does something that is worth looking into is the 3-round burst option. And I will say, the 3-round burst is good. It is definitely the best way to use this blaster, because this blaster is the only one of its kind right now where you can effectively and reliably use 3-round burst, with full lengths at least. Because now there are two other ones that have come out. There's the Omnia Gen 3 and there's the Galactic Commander, both of which also have 3-round burst, so I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. If you want this blaster and you happen to find it and you like it and you think it's cool and you don't mind the strange problems it has, you find one, pick it up. Sure, it works. But if you want, like, an actual replacement to semi-auto and full auto, like Supervisor said at the beginning of this video, the Regulator is not it. Thank you guys for watching. Bye!